Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Technology's role in advancing our food revolution amid evolving consumer needs isn't just a nice to have, it's actually essential. Today, we'll hear how science has given us so many tools to create cleaner, better foods for both human and planetary health. Foods that still taste delicious, but leave a lighter footprint. Multinationals like Coca-Cola, Danone, Nestle, Unilever, they have invested their own dollars into Israel's innovative food tech scene. Food tech actually combines Israel's two strongest assets, agriculture and technology. Israel has advanced its agriculture sector immensely in the last half century, and this know-how is now driving innovation in food technology. The market of alternative meats, eggs, dairy, and seafood products is set to reach at least $290 billion by 2035. To tell us about innovation in food tech, I'd like to welcome Dr. Lara Ramdin. Dr. Lara Ramdin is the Chief Innovation Officer at Dole Sunshine Company based on the West Coast. Dr. Ramdin, please give us a taste of what's going on at Dole and what you are currently innovating.
When we talk about the Dole Sunshine Company, we talk about building a purposeful brand and business. And what does that really mean for us? Well, it definitely doesn't mean this. I think this is old doctrine now. And this is from a quote from Milton Friedman. The only responsibility a company has is to increase its profits. We definitely don't believe that. And our innovation is really focused around this philosophy. If we want to continue to live in this world, if we want to continue to operate in this world, then we can't just be focusing on the short term. We have to be focusing on the long term. And that means we need to be giving back to people, to the planet, and creating prosperity. Those are the three things that we live by. So one of the things that is at the center of our innovation program is equitable nutrition, accessible nutrition, and this idea of democratizing access to food, because we really genuinely believe that nutrition and food is a human right. And the food system globally seems to be somewhat broken. So you have 2 billion people who are hungry, and yet on the other side, you have 1.9 billion people who are struggling with obesity. And then on top of that, in the US alone, we're wasting £100 billion worth of food, which is worth $400 billion a year. So something's not right, right? You've got all these people who are hungry, all these people who have hidden hunger, so who have access to food but don't have access to the right food, and then all this food going to waste. So we really want to operate at the center of that and create a narrative and a dialogue, and also through our innovation program deliver alternative products that way in order to change the food system overall. So in our vision is to champion an equitable world where everyone, irrespective of age, race, gender, has access to good nutrition. So nutrition equality, democratizing nutrition. As a way to share with you obviously in some kind of activation, I want to show you now our Malnutrition Facts campaign. This is an award-winning campaign where we projected onto the sides of buildings all around the US what we call malnutrition facts. How many of you in this audience actually read the ingredient label in all its detail? Very few consumers really read what's on the back of pack. One of the things that I'm really passionate about, by the way, is changing the way we engage consumers in telling them about nutrition, because it's very confusing and doesn't really mean anything to them. So we took that ingredient label format and we turned that into a malnutrition fact to highlight exactly the crisis that we're facing when it comes to the food system. So here's a short video to show you the malnutrition campaign.
Wow.
Probably I don't read the nutrition labels as frequently as I should.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness, no, I didn't know that many.
You gotta know what's healthy. You know, a lot of people are uneducated enough about actual good food and what you should be eating and when. It's a shocking number, but I'm not surprised.
Healthier food is generally more expensive.
I think a big piece of it is the price. Like a salad in New York can cost you $15.
I know that there's a lot of people that could use some help with food, but I didn't know those numbers.
So, again, I want to reiterate, we're facing a very broken food system. On the one hand, you have millions of people who are going hungry because they don't have enough food. You have around 1.9 million people in the US who have hidden hunger, so they have access to food, but they're not getting the right micronutrients from the food they eat because they're not eating the right types of food. And then in the US, we waste 100 billion pounds worth of food, which is worth $400 billion. So it's about time that we all came together and we did something about it. And I believe alternative food tech and food tech in general has a really significant role to play in changing that food system.
The Dole Promise is a new way for Dole to have a direct impact on nutrition, providing access to sustainable nutrition for 1 billion people by 2025. Incredibly commendable. I understand you want to move Dole towards zero processed sugar in all Dole packaged food products by 2025. Where does that stand?
I'm pleased to be able to tell you that we are busy reformulating all our products and we're 71% of the way through. I will say we've got some very, very difficult products to reformulate in our portfolio. We're a legacy brand. We've been around for a long time. Those products have been around for a long time. So this again is where alternative food tech is really critical because we're desperate for alternative sweetening technology that can help you continue to make products that delight consumers but don't necessarily have negative health impacts. So anybody who's out there who's working in the alternative sweetener world, I'm definitely very interested to hear from you. So when it comes to food tech, we have a great ecosystem of partners, and maybe some of you will recognize some of the companies that are on this page. These are just some of the companies that we're working with through different lenses, whether it be through our crop and soil health, because we are vertically integrated in the Philippines, through our pineapple and banana plantation. So it's really critical for us to get our arms around the new technology in that space. We're obviously working with people to deal with our waste. Naturally, we're looking at some of the sweetening technology that's in place under our novel ingredients platform in product innovation. We're also looking at things that can enhance gut health and improve the microbiome, because that's the center of our product innovation strategy. So you'll see that we have a great ecosystem of startups here, and in every single point of innovation, whether it be to reduce our carbon footprint or whether it to be to reduce our fossil fuel based packaging footprint, or to reduce the processed sugars in our products, we are working with some kind of food technology. So food technology is essential to survival.
What does a redesigned food system look like in 5 years?
So I think a redesigned food system in 5 years means that we don't talk about food tech and alternative food tech. What we talk about is food tech as a whole, right? So at the moment, when you talk about meat alternatives, dairy alternatives, synthetic biology, precision fermentation, it generally gets classified under alternative food tech. I think it will become food. It has to become food, right? It has to become more ubiquitous, meaning and therefore that it becomes more accessible and it democratizes. And I think all of those things we have to be doing all of those things at the same time. The other thing about a redesigned food system is that we have to do more things with waste. So either we get consumers to shift their behavior so that they don't waste so much in the first place, which, as you know, is a more difficult thing to do, but we need to continue to do that anyway. And then at the other end, which I'm particularly passionate about, we need to continue to further and globalize the upcycle food movement. And everybody needs to have upcycle food in their toolbox. And we need to be generating more value from upcycled fruit, upcycled waste, upcycled grain, upcycled everything in order to redesign that food system.
How will food tech innovation translate into more sales for food tech companies?
I think the key is to make it, well, first of all, I think if you're, I was recently at a conference with a Women in Tech leadership conference with a wide range of people who have nothing to do with the food system. And when a colleague and I started to talk about the advances that are being made in the alternative meat world, there was a pause, and then somebody asked, but isn't it GMO? Isn't it Frankenstein? Isn't it? So there is going to be, as we continue to move forward in this world, because we all know we have to, there's going to have to continue to be this consumer education that these are not what have been in the past labeled Frankenstein foods, number one. So that we need to get people to overcome some of the emotional barriers to these foods. Two, we're going to need to continue to formulate on taste, because nobody wants to, food is joy, food is life, right? So we need to continue to put joy and delight at the front of what it is that we're doing when we're formulating alternative foods. And then the last one, of course, is price. We have to work together to make sure that everything that we're doing is accessible to haves and have-nots, and that we're not creating this dichotomy in the food system. And because anybody who's working in this space, nobody wants an elitist food system.
Have you tasted any of the Ripple products before?
I have. So I have to say that I went to a Vegan Women's Summit earlier on this year in April, actually, and Ripple had their soft serve. And I was really pleasantly surprised at how delicious the soft serve is. I think soft serve is technically a big barrier to overcome in terms of its comparison to traditional soft serve. And in terms of the impact of the flavor and the mouthfeel and the creaminess, they really did an excellent job. So if you haven't tried Ripple soft serve, I can heartily recommend it.
So one area that really needs some innovation in the food tech space is the dairy market. We've been using cow's milk for forever, really. And not only is it bad for our planet, but there could be products out there that actually provide higher calcium and vitamin levels. Ripple Foods, based in California, they're not just making ripples, but waves in the industry. Let's take a look.
You may have noticed a lot of cows on vacation lately. Let me explain.
It's because of Ripple, an amazing plant-based milk.
Ripple has 8 grams of protein, while almond milk only has 1.
And Ripple is delicious and creamy. Amazing, right?
In fact, it's one of the most nutritious and delicious plant-based milks on the planet.
That's great news.
So while other plant-based milks are pretty jealous, we cows are pretty happy.
Move over to Ripple.
Joining us today, we have Lara Flanagan, the CEO of Ripple. Lara, it's a pleasure to have you on today. Can you please give us a short overview of Ripple?
Thank you, Allie. Happy to. So Ripple Foods is a portfolio of plant-based, dairy-free products. So as you can see on the screen here, we have refrigerated and shelf-stable milks, as well as protein shakes, and a few more exciting categories that we're just now launching. Ripple is one of the fastest growing plant-based milk portfolios in the entire country here in the United States. And we're excited to be able to expand that success on a global scale as we move forward. Let me tell you a little bit about our products. So one of the most interesting things is that we source our protein from yellow peas. Now, yellow peas are one of the highest non-animal protein sources on the planet. And they're one of the most sustainable crops out there. So you can see on the left-hand side of the page, all of these sustainability benefits of Ripple milk versus an almond milk, and certainly versus dairy milk. And on the right-hand side, you'll see that we actually have a proprietary advantage technology called Riptene. And we're able to extract the protein out of yellow peas in a way that creates a cleaner tasting protein. So we can deliver higher levels of protein than many other milks on the market and still deliver a great taste. And that technology was patented in 2021. And Ripple's claim to fame, our point of difference, is that we have some of the highest protein levels in the category. So you don't have to sacrifice taste or nutrition in order to make a better choice for you and a better choice for the planet. So we have high levels of protein, 8 grams of protein per serving, higher calcium and lower sugar than dairy milk, and we are still allergen free. So this is a very unique combination within the plant-based milk category. And it's because of all these unique benefits that we are seeing such success in the United States. We're now in nearly 20,000 grocery stores all across America. And you can see some of the stats on the right-hand side. We are growing 6 times faster than the plant-based milk category. And that category is on a tear of growth in itself, and we're growing 6 times faster. And our velocities, which are a measure of same-store sales, are growing 3 times faster than the nearest competitor. We also have the highest repeat rates. So we're able to look at consumers who come in and try all the brands in the category and what percentage of them make a repeat purchase and how much do they spend over the next 12 months. And we have the highest repeat rate and repeat dollars in the category. So when a consumer tries Ripple, they love Ripple and they stick with it. And last but not least, we are the least price-sensitive brand in the category, which is really important because in many of the other players, particularly the oat segment, we see them duking it out on price promotion, and Ripple consumers are extremely loyal and are not price-sensitive. And one of the most exciting aspects of the business is our innovation that we launched last year. We did a test market, and it crushed and exceeded our expectations. So Ripple Kids, we worked with pediatricians to develop a milk product specifically formulated for kids because they are the largest consumers of milk. So it's designed with DHA and choline for brain health, prebiotics for immunity and for digestive health, and it still has 8 grams of protein and higher levels of calcium than dairy milk. So this is done extremely well in market. It's now the #2 branded SKU in Target, and we're getting ready to roll it out to over 10,000 total stores here in the United States this year. So we're very excited about this innovation and look forward to taking this and expanding it on a global scale, which leads to our areas of growth. So we're expecting to be growing at around 50% per year in revenue. And we're going to grow through 3 levers: expanding our core products, through innovation into new categories, and by expanding globally. And we're also working very hard on revenue growth. And over the course of the next 18 months, expect to get to category leading levels of gross margins through new strategic distribution partnerships, through evolutions of our RIP team protein, and then by optimizing our manufacturing process. So we have really exciting times ahead. It's a fantastic time to be investing in this business. We have a veteran management team, over 150 years collectively among us in food and beverage, a very attractive addressable market for plant-based foods, a proprietary technology. We've got a strong brand that's gaining momentum every quarter. And last but not least, a very strong playbook for growth in both revenue and profit. So we're very excited about the future for Ripple Foods.
Wow, that is very exciting. As a mom of 2 kids, I can't wait for you guys to expand to Israel so I can get my hands on that product. Wow, wonderful. So we heard recently that you guys are coming off of a really cool event with a celebrity chef and best-selling vegan cookbook author Charity Morgan. Super cool. Could you tell us about it? We would love to hear more about the event.
Yes, it was a wonderful event. We held it in Los Angeles, and Charity Morgan, who is a famous celebrity chef, she was also in the Netflix documentary called The Game Changers, which talks about the benefits of a plant-based diet for athletes and everyday people like us. And Charity loves our Ripple product. She uses it in all of her recipes. And she came and hosted an event for the media and for some of our customers. So we had a lot of magazines there, People Magazine, amongst several news outlets. And we also had Justin Turner, who's on the LA Dodgers professional baseball team. Justin is a big fan of our Ripple products, and he came as well. So it was a chance to showcase our new soft serve ice cream, which tastes amazing. You can't tell the difference between our soft serve and a dairy soft serve ice cream. And then they also got to see Ripple drink it by itself, as well as showcased in many recipes like soups and dressings and cheese, and so many ways that you can use our Ripple products, because they were designed to be just as versatile as milk.
Very cool. That actually brings me into, my next question, which is, I have heard wonderful things about the soft serve. So that's very exciting, and would love to hear. I heard 2 months ago you guys actually expanded into oat milk. So would love to hear. I love that you guys are testing out new categories. What's next? What's next for you guys?
Yes. So our mission is to make plant-based foods delicious so that a consumer shouldn't have to compromise anything, taste or texture or nutrition, to make a better choice for themselves or the planet. So that mission we're taking into new categories. Soft serve is a great example of that. We're expanding into cheese. So we have developed a slice of, it can either be American or a cheddar tasting profile, plant-based cheese. And what makes that unique is that it melts just like a slice of dairy cheese, which not many plant-based cheeses melt very well. So particularly in food service applications, picture restaurants that want to use a slice of plant-based cheese on a burger or on a grilled cheese sandwich or in mac and cheese or in soups. We have a cheese for them that can melt really well in their operations. So it's a very exciting time. So we are expanding not only into new milks, like you mentioned, our oat milk, but also into brand new categories like ice cream and cheese.
Wow, that's very cool. And with your oat milk plus protein, so it clearly tastes like milk. It looks like milk, behaves like milk when you're cooking with it, and obviously free from allergens like soy, nuts, gluten, and lactose. What are some of the other benefits that one would see when replacing, when using oat milk plus protein?
So whether you use our oat milk plus protein or our regular Ripple milk, again, our promise is no compromises, particularly in nutrition. So our regular Ripple milk has just as much protein as dairy milk, and that ends up being 8 times more protein than almond milk. Most people think almonds, they're high in protein, therefore almond milk must be high in protein. No, that's actually not the case. Almond milk only has 1 gram of protein. So it's terrible for you and terrible for the planet because of all the water that it uses. So Ripple milk has just as much protein as dairy milk, significantly more than other milks on the market, 2 to 3 times more than the other oat milks on the market, plus high calcium and low sugar. And our oat milk also has 2 to 3 more times protein than other typical oat milks on the market.
What do you see as the market opportunity for all your products?
Well, the total addressable market of plant-based dairy alternatives is huge. Not only here in the United States, it's even bigger outside the US than inside the US. So on a global scale, this dairy alternative category is expected to grow to 34 billion over the course of the next 5 years. And when you look at markets, particularly in Asia, China is a country of 1.4 billion people, 320 million children, many of whom are lactose intolerant or sensitive to dairy. So our portfolio of products, we expect to be extremely successful as we start to expand globally.
This is really exciting. Thank you so much for sharing about Ripple. I know that we're so excited that it's back on the platform. Our investors are excited about it. So thank you, Lara, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We started with innovation within FoodTech, and we heard how Ripple is making waves in the alternative protein space. One of the other trends we're seeing within FoodTech is reducing sugar. Fruit juice is generally perceived as healthy and far superior to sugary soda. But in reality, both soda and 100% fruit juice packs around 110 calories and 20 to 26 grams of sugar per cup. So how can we still enjoy a tasty and refreshing cup of freshly squeezed orange juice on a hot summer day while still remaining healthy? BlueTree Technologies has the answer for us.
We all love fresh orange juice, but its high sugar content has people questioning if they should be drinking it at all. An Israeli startup based among the orange groves in northern Israel says It has the answer. BlueTree Technologies has figured out an all-natural way to significantly reduce the amount of sugar in orange juice while keeping the great taste, and is about to launch into the multi-billion-dollar global beverage industry.
We filter the orange juice. And the purpose of the filtration is to separate the good stuff of the orange juice, and we take out the sucrose. You can get a healthier, better orange juice for your consumption.
Unlike other methods of reducing sugar that alter the chemical makeup of the juice, BlueTree uses a naturally occurring compound that simply extracts the sugar physically.
Now I'm going to operate the prototype to separate the sugar, making sure that the sucrose, the sugar, is going over here, and the glucose and fructose and all the good stuff of the orange juice are going through here. This is the orange juice without the sucrose, without the sugar. This is the final product.
Joining us today is Yuval, the CEO and co-founder of BlueTree Technologies. Yuval, thank you so much for joining us today. So tell us, how do you do it? How do you create tasty juice but with less sugar?
Sure, thank you for having me. So first of all, I would like to explain what is BlueTree, how BlueTree is involved. So BlueTree is for the tree, which is the natural, and the blue is like for the twist, like we put like a blue things in our hair. So nature brings us liquids like milk, we talked about it, liquid like juices, liquid wine is coming from juices, natural juices, beer is coming from natural juices, but they all include a lot of sugar. And we need a twist in order to change this natural way that we are using to give people less sugar. So where do we want to take it? For example, orange juice. Orange juice includes about 9% of sugars. It's close to Coke. So drinking 1 glass of orange juice squeezed, you can get like 8 or 9 grams of sugars. And we would like to reduce that. And in our vision, we see half of the sugars off, because we want to keep the taste, we want to keep the feel of the orange juice, and by removing up to 30% of the sugar, keeps the juice tasty. Some of the people, when they taste the reduced sugar orange juice, say they prefer this taste just by taste. They don't know that they reduced sugar when we ask them, just by taste. This is just to give you an example of how it feels like when you are drinking a reduced sugar orange juice. Now, how we do it, it's a question that everybody asks us, and this is the time to answer. We are doing a process of filtration and process of absorption. Both of the systems are absolutely natural and are used in other vectors like milks. When you take milk and you take out the fat out of it, you are doing in a certain way that keeps the milk, but it reduces fat. So what we are doing, we're filtering the juice to 2 parts. One part including big molecules, all the good stuff, and the other one include sucrose, which is the sugar, and less. Then we take this portion, taking out the sugar, like magnetizing it to a compound that we created, not doing anything to the juice. Then the juice go without this sucrose. Sucrose is 50% of the sugars in orange juice. By doing that and putting together the 2 portions, we are creating something that in the industry called NFC, the base for any orange juice squeezed bottle that we see in the world. But this NFC is reduced up to 50% of the sugar and can be the base for any 100% squeezed orange juice. But there is another thing that is happening. We get a lot of sugar. So we are the first one to create the first orange juice sugar in the world. And there is a big demand for this sugar. So that in the good side, we're taking off sugar, but on the other side, we are bringing new sugar to the world. And there is a lot of passion for this sugar because first of all, it's a natural sugar. Secondly, it makes products to last long, especially in cosmetics. And you have a small aroma of oranges, which make it superior for anyone. So this is another thing that we are doing. We are doing a third thing, but all the rest of the world that is not using 100% squeezed orange juice is using juice that is made out of concentrated juice. Now, when you reduce the sugar and you make a concentrate juice out of it, the package becomes half size. So moving to the world, orange juice, reduced sugar that is without water, yes, it's a concentrated juice, it's going to take half place in ships, in warehousing, anywhere. So the benefits that we bring is 3. 1, less sugar. 2, new sugar. 3, better shipping and handling. So it took us a while. It's about 3 years of work, the invention, the compound that is absorbing the sugar, the system that is testing it and bringing it to world, and then the pilot that we created in the northern of Israel, together with Fresh Start, which is the incubator we just came out from. We created a system that we can create already samples to send. And we ship these samples together with Prodalim, which is our partner all around the world. Based on these samples, we'll be able to sign our first contract of building the first in the world sugar reduction system or small planet in Israel, together with Preniv. Today, we are working to build this facility in Israel, and we believe that by the end of this year, we are going to have the first in the world product, reduced sugar in a natural way, orange juice. And people in Israel will be able to enjoy it. But this is just a pilot. Next is going worldwide. And worldwide, we already have a signed contract with Prodalim for 100 million liter, which is quite a lot for company in our size. And we are looking now for squeezer. The companies, the producer, the squeeze, actually, they are mostly in Brazil. Some of them also in Mexico and little also in Spain. So we believe that we are going to do our next jump to Spain together with the biggest brand in Spain for juices and also for wine. And our next step will be working with him. So in next year, which is going to be 2023, we are going to build the system there in Spain, be able to bring to Europe first the squeezed 100% reduced sugar oranges. The other stage is going really big scale. And big scale, it's happening in Brazil. And we are working now with Louis Dreyfus and with others to evaluate the juice and to find out what to do it, because it's important. I believe personally that if we can reduce 10% of all the juice in the world, it's going to be great. Nobody will feel the difference, and we save 10% of the all sugar that are in orange juice. 20% can be also, 30% can be also 50%. So the market needs still to define what are the products that are going to be able, because we are in the ingredient world. We are creating a new ingredient. So we built a strange model, but by surprise, it was accepted by everyone that we don't charge anything. We just charge per liter this is going through our system. Each liter, like per click, if each liter costs about 5 cents to create the reduction of the sugar. But we are also in the distribution together with Prodalim, and together with other brands, we are also in the product itself. So this is brings us an income, potential income between 5 cents to 20 cents per liter. There are about 17 billion liters of orange juice squeezed every year, and they are all waiting for our system. So this shows you some of the potential that BlueTree has. Taking aside the work we are doing on other citrus, fruits, milk, which is a huge market for us, and our first tryout for reducing lactose from milk, taking it off, not changing it, not keeping it inside the milk, just taking it off, is going to make milk with no sugar at all. It's going to be very happy for everyone and for us. Beer, including maltose, taking out the maltose will enable the world to create beer with no alcohol. Natural beer that tastes like beer, but with no alcohol. So this is for the future. For now, we accept to have the first product out by the end of this year, share it with everyone and get feedbacks, and hopefully getting to our next stage in Spain.
Wow, Yuval, that was really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. So, a few questions. At what point did you realize that you could actually reduce the sugar in the orange juice and still maintain the taste?
We didn't know that. We didn't know what will happen after we're going to take out the sugar. So at first, we put all the attention on how to do it in a way that will not change the juice, first of all. Then we got results. The result was between 50% to 10% reduction. And we tested it. Also, the market tested it. And everybody said that 30% reduction looked like to be the best for reduction of the sugar, enough to reduce a lot of sugar, 30%, and also to keep the orange tasty. And this is what people told us. People told us that reduced sugar, 30%, it's wonderful. It's tasty. It's feel like oranges. It's feel the same feeling that we are used to. It's a little bit less sweet, but some people like less sweet and they say, okay, now when we feel it, we like it best. So then we decided to now focus on the 30% reduction. But as I told you before, 10% reduction on everything is going to be good for everyone.
So do you think eventually we'll see BlueTree juices on shelves in our supermarkets, or are you planning more of a B2B approach?
We are B2B approach. There are not so much people or companies that are squeezing juice and selling NFC. There are about 300 all around the world. We are in contact with about 100 already. And once this system is going to be part of the squeezing system, they can do whatever they want, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. And they will try it out and find out what will work best for them. They will also try to create concentrate juice after that. They are already will test first the orange juice syrup, which is like a maple syrup. It's an amazing taste. It's amazing. It's coming amazing taste. And then only then application will start to come up. And we are going to expect to see ourselves as something, say, natural, less sugar on top of each bottle. So people will know that if this product is less sugar, it's coming from BlueTree and it's probably good. It's going to help other products to flower. And this is what we are expecting to happen.
Great.
It's a big change. You need to understand something that the industry is looking for about 10 years. Looking for a way how to reduce sugar in a natural way. We want to keep the name squeezed natural orange juice on the labels. And when we've got that, it's now up to the industry to decide what to do with it.
I mean, I'll tell you what I do now. I feel like I'm mentioning my kids a lot, but I take, orange juice or apple juice and I just dilute it with water because but it's less tasty, but right.
But we all know, everyone that we came to, and the first question is what is the taste? It's the most important thing for people because today we don't know already what is the sort of what we are eating. The milk is not milk. The butter is not butter. The steak is coming not from cows, and there are steaks that coming from cells of cows that someone did in the refrigerator. We are losing the connection between the source and the product. Now there are good products, amazing products, and we need to believe the companies that are giving us good products. They all say that. But then what is important for us is the taste. You want to enjoy this good. And when it's coming to taste, it's becoming the most important thing for people after being healthy. So we are there, and we are giving a tasty orange juice, and we believe that it's a good solution for this industry, and it's a big one. It's a big one.
Wow, that's really exciting. One more question. So you mentioned also that I don't know if it was, unintentionally you found that you have this new type of sugar that has multiple applications. Is there a plan in place to really commercialize that as well beyond just the juices that you're also making?
I can tell you that the people that sell sugar, they are not bad people, they are companies, yeah? that sell sugar, the industry needs the sugar, are willing to buy from us the sugar that we are going to extract for the next 10 years in advance.
Yuval, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to hear about BlueTree. And yeah, I again, can't wait to really have my hands on your product. Thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you got a glimpse into food tech and the various investment opportunities that are available on the OurCrowd platform. Schedule a call with your investor relations representative, or to learn more, you could click on the button below to learn more about Ripple and BlueTree. Both companies are available and currently funding, so contact your rep if you're interested in investing. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.